Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? De este lado del micro y de la cámara les saluda Leo Moreno de Depósito Sonoro, llevándoles y compartiendo con ustedes conversaciones interesantes y entrevistas con toda una gama de colores y sabores de talentos musicales, tanto nacionales como internacionales. Y hoy tenemos el placer, porque es un placer, de poder platicar con una artista que es una arquitecta de lo intangible, una escultora de paisajes a través de melodías evocativas y que te atrapan y que precisamente con motivo de su participación en el Festival Hipnosis el próximo 2 de noviembre, estamos aquí con ella, Laurence-Anne, la cantante canadiense y compositora. Hello, Laurence. Thank you very much for your time. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
How is this description the beautiful description about your work? You know, this architect of the intangible, right? That sounds
hmm
poetic. This musical sculpture that you create with lands or that reminisces to landscapes and whatnot. So I want to ask you, uh, when and how did you knew did you know that you wanted or that you were a musician?
Mm,
Maybe as a little kid.
that's a good question.
Yeah. When did you say I'm a musician?
Um, well, I guess I've always been doing music like since I was really young. I just started singing in some school concerts and um but then later in high school I started to like write my own songs and everything, but it wasn't like serious. So I guess it all started when I moved to Montreal. Um after a year I spent in Mexico, actually. So yeah. So I came to Montreal when I was 18 years old, and um I remember that in school I met some musicians. There were like a music program in my school, and then after the school was over, I moved to a certain part of Montreal where like all the music venues are, where like everything is happening, and kind of the cultural spot in the city. And then I started to ask people, hey, would you be interested in like playing with me or like just try to jam something? And then I think it just started that way, like playing with other musicians. And then when I did my first show, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm doing music now, and it's like I can work with this, and yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, they're realizing, yeah, I'm doing it, so I'm it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. But before that, what was the music that awakened you when you were a little child?
Mm-hmm.
What did you heard that you said,
Um,
wow, this is, I love this.
yeah, well, when I was a child, I think my parents would mostly listen to like francophone artists from Quebec. So I guess yeah, and since I started with singing, so I was listening to more like voice music more than uh like the music that I like now. It's like it was more about like the performance, I guess.
Sorry, like voice music, you said?
No, like voice, like singers.
Yeah, voice.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay. Any recommendations about that music you can do for our audience?
Hmm. If you want to discover,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
well, actually, the first song I sang on a stage, I was 7 years old, and it was a song from an artist called Isabelle Boulay.
Okay, Isabel Bule, boys music.
Yeah, voice. Well, it's like a singer. So it's like yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Okay, Isabel Bule. That
yeah,
first recommendation from Laurence-Anne. So you are originally Lawrence from Quebec.
yeah,
Then you lived a year in Mexico City.
yeah, yeah.
Mexico City.
Not in Mexico City. I was living in Veracruz.
Oh, why?
I don't really know. It's just because I kind of worked out with some people to find a family where I could live, and then we found yeah, a family in Veracruz, and that's where I stayed.
In the port of Veracruz,
En el estado.
in el estado.
Ujú.
The city of Jalapa was? No.
Era en Acayucan.
Ah, ok, o sea, un poco de español hablas.
Sí, un poquito, pues sí, bien, pero
Tuviste que aprender, claro.
sí.
Qué bueno. ¿Qué es lo que más recuerdas de ese Veracruz?
Mm,
You can answer in English if you want, but you understood me perfectly, right?
yes.
As you wish.
Um, well, I have really, really good memories. I was 17 years old and I made a lot of friends, and uh, I think it was just like so different from like where I come from. So just the big kind of cultural experience to discover like Mexico, to discover the food, to discover the music, the traditions. It was like it was a super intense year and like magical for me. It really is a like good memories.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Mm.
It's gonna be great for us to see you live now at the Festival Hipnosis, one
Hmm.
most important festivals in Mexico City. Lawrence, should I call you Lawrence? Laurence-Anne?
Yeah, yeah, both is fine. Yeah.
Harry? Are you excited? I suppose it's a great festival and it has, created something in Mexico that didn't exist before, and it has a
Hmm.
really special niche. So I think you are pretty hyped up about it.
Yeah, yeah, very, very excited to play in that festival, and also with all the other bands that are on the poster. It's kind of really exciting.
Your francophone fellas here.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I was supposed to go see them last week. They were playing in Montreal, and I had tickets, but I gave them to a friend, and I just wanted to wait and see them at Hypnosis.
The experience is going to be great for you,
Yeah,
being a musician and also as a music lover. It's
yeah.
amazing. So now you are presenting recently your latest single, Melancholia. Beautiful
Hmm.
song, beautiful track.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And before that, obviously, Oniromance, your latest big effort, your latest EP. Before that, Music Vision, your first one, Premiere Apparition. That came from this participation. I saw something about you participated like in a show or in a contest about something, right?
Yeah, well, Première Apparition is, yeah, we went to record it in a studio that's up in the woods, and it was a prize that I won at this contest, and it's called Les Francs Couverts, and yeah, it's one of the big yeah contests that you do here in Quebec, and it gives you uh, yeah, a lot of exposure, I guess, when you do it. So yeah, I guess it's where it also started as like a real project and something more professional.
And then you from that you saw, because you said it wasn't that serious, your musical beginnings in a way, right?
Yeah,
But it was so serious it was that you are now here, right, in this
yeah.
your life and what you do, and maybe you just weren't conscious about it. But what was the narrative or the inspiration for your first creations from your debut album?
Mm. Well, I guess we always say that the first album is the sum of like all of your experiences, like in your whole life before. So I guess yeah, it's about a lot of stuff, but I guess well, it's always more about love than you think. So yeah, I think there are some love songs on that album. Like that's the thing that inspires you the most in the beginning, I feel like. Mm.
That's great. That's
Mm.
great. And you laugh about it because maybe you can think it sounds corny, but
Mhm.
I think that it's totally necessary. And what biggest impulse that what bigger impulse than love, right?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Then came Music Vision. What was the
Yeah.
feeling at the moment?
Hmm. I remember like recording Music Vision, I wanted to do something more dancey, and I wanted something with more grooves. So I composed the songs on some beats that I found on an old Casio synthesizer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did all my like demos using these little drum machines
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
these
No.
80s sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of the main idea to work on with this album.
And you recorded also with these original sounds from the Casio, some things, or not? It was just the demo.
Um,
That sound is that really particular sound to the two.
yeah, well, we used it, but we started from scratch. I mean, we didn't use the demos, but I still used the instrument on the album to record some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, to maintain the essence of the thing you felt when you were creating, right?
Yeah.
Then came oniromancy. That's
Yeah.
and I think because it's oniric, it's related to dreams.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it's in Spanish. So maybe a little bit more mature, of course. I felt it was, from my humble point of view, of course, and listen,
hmm
more mature and evocative, and haunting and
Yeah.
more about a dream stuff. What were you going through at that moment in your life? Do you remember?
Hmm.
How did you?
Uh,
Because you started from love. You
yeah.
started from, I don't know that I'm a musician, but I am.
Yeah.
From love. Then you went to do something more upbeat and hyped up, really. As
Yeah.
right? And then you came to the reflection, maybe part of your career.
hmm Yeah, well, I guess it's um because we all had this moment, after or during the pandemic where you're like more with yourself and like in your bubble. And I guess that I wasn't living that much thing because we were staying indoors and like uh doing like our own little things in our own little worlds, separated from each other. So I guess I was more introspective. And then I guess I started like writing my dreams and like taking notes and writing more about, what I had in my head. So yeah, I also feel that the text and the lyrics in this album are more profound and like maybe more intimate also. So yeah, I think it's all about this bigger introspection.
And if we think, and if we think back a little bit, it could feel like a dream, the lockdown. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
it happened not so long ago, but sometimes it feels like it was very long time ago. And then you come
yeah.
to your, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, if you think about it, in this winter, it's gonna be 5 years it started. It's crazy.
Fucking crazy,
Yeah.
fucking crazy. And then you come to melancholia, and it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense with your whole work. You feel melancholic this year, this past year. You've been feeling melancholic.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been.
What, Lawrence?
I guess it's just part of like aging. I'm not old, but I mean, I got I had 30 years this summer, and I feel like, yeah, but I mean, like, your point of view on your life is changing. And I don't know. When I think about the first years of just music, like when I think about the years I was doing Première Apparition, like I feel like it's so far away, like it was so long ago. And like, I don't know, it's just a reflection on how everything's changing quite fast, but also everything is always renewing itself. And it's just like the cycle of life, I guess, and the cycle of light also. Just like every day is a new day, but it's always kind of, yeah, it's always you, but like you're changing.
Yeah, for sure. And
hmm
great thinker, I don't can remember who he was, but said this great idea that said, you don't have the obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago.
hmm
No one,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
with yourself, right? So
Yeah.
I get you. I get you. That's beautiful. And even though uh, your work tends to be dreamy, evocative, melancholic, nostalgic, and whatnot, I still have this sense of a lot of hope. And I think
Yeah.
that's where a lot of beauty resides in your work, Lawrence.
Thank you. Well, I think I'm a optimistic person, really. I stay positive.
People, yeah, and
Mm.
understanding maybe the depths of the world, but with hope, and I think
Mhm.
that gives a great range to your work in this day and age, Lawrence, of the hyper digitalism, and all this that skip.
Yeah.
The deep listening has hurt is hurting a little bit. The profound listening of a piece as the artist intended for you to listen to it, right?
Mhm.
And this is happening. It's a conversation for some years now. And which would which would be an album for you that is completely round and perfect? An album that you would recommend to our listeners, that you play
Mm.
from top to bottom, and you just cannot stop listening or shouldn't stop listening.
Ooh. I think I had many in my life. Huh.
Thank you.
But I could say, well, there is one album from an artist from here, from Quebec, if you are interested in
Yeah, for sure. We
yeah.
are we looking to discover music for
Yeah.
sure always.
Well, this is our debut album. This is our first, and it's called Il n'y a rien que je ne suis pas, which means in English, there is nothing I am not.
Yeah, rien que je sais pas.
Yeah, and her name is Ariel Soucy, and I've been listening to that album like over and over and over, and I never get tired of it. It's just so beautiful. It's kind of it's folk music, and she does so many harmonies with her voice, and it's so calm at the same time. But there's something really profound about the sound of it, and like the themes also that she's exploring. There's some songs in English also, mostly in French, but yeah. And there's also another album that I would recommend. Is It's from La Force, and the album is called Exoskeleton.
Exoskeleton. Okay.
Yeah,
Great. Thank you, Lawrence. That's the recommendations for Aris Susi and
La Force.
La Force. La
Yeah,
Fuerza. Español. Thank you very much. We love to pass these recommendations to our audience, and of course, also to get to know you better, to the artists we talk with. What does Laurence-Anne do when there's no music?
mm, what do I do? Well, I spend a lot of time outdoors. It's like, yeah. um I live a little bit outside of the city, so I get to enjoy nice walks, and every day I go next to the St. Lawrence River, and I go watch the sunset.
You said St. Lawrence River.
Yeah, St. Lawrence River in Quebec.
That's a reason for your name, for Lawrence.
Oh, no, yeah, well, yeah, it sounds a bit the same, but it's different.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, great.
yeah.
And if you could choose, if you had the possibility, which one would be a dream collaboration for you?
Mm.
Studio maybe, or on stage as you wish, but you can choose anyone, dead or alive.
Mm. Okay. Uh, that's a good question. There are so many. How can I choose only one?
Well, the one that comes most to mind now, for sure, right?
Um,
Or a couple.
well, a few weeks back I saw PJ RV in concert, and yeah, I was like blown away, and I don't know. I guess I would say her now.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer for sure.
Yeah.
Lawrence, we gotta wrap this up. You gotta keep moving, but thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on the new single, Melancolía. Chequen las
Thank you.
redes de Laurence-Anne, que va a estar presentándose en el Hipnosis. Es una oportunidad única, an unique opportunity to listen to truly authentic, original feelings through a funnel of hope and sensitivity. It's going to be great
Thank you.
here at the festival. Thank you very much, Laurence, for your time.
Thank you.